start this video off with a little bit of trivia, okay? What do you think is the most rarest thing in the universe? Gold? Diamonds? Well, couldn't be that. There's plenty of that up in space. But what if I brought you back down to Earth and reminded you that the only place you're gonna find this thing is on planet Earth? And what is that thing? Ladies and gentlemen, we talking about trees. And what's made out of trees, ladies and gentlemen? Freaking cards. Welcome back to Treasure Theory, guys, where today we're gonna be talking. I'm sorry, my coffee's hitting good today. I had to. You know, today I wanted to talk about something very specific, very unique, and quite frankly, not oftenly reflected on when it comes to investing, collecting, all that sort of stuff. And the thing about what I want to talk about is it's an incredibly important factor when it comes to investing, not only just in TCGs, but in stocks, crypto, all that sort of stuff. You're going to want to hear this because it's super important and perhaps it's not really something you've considered. So if that all sounds good, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Strap in, get your gamer subs, okay? That's right, use code theory or pop and click the link down in the description below. Get yourself some gamer subs today and get ready because this is going to be a hell of a video. So guys, as you know, something I like to do here on this channel is I like to think outside the box. So many YouTube channels that talk about the One Piece TCG just really kind of focus in on price, product, and what people are buying and selling, which is totally understandable. That's what we're really here about. But I like to take it a step further. I like to think about the psychological aspect of all this stuff because when it comes to investing, it's not just about numbers, guys. It's about timing. It's about having insight. It's about knowing things. It's about having experience. And, you know, quite frankly, I find many people entering this space who are interested in investing, interested in getting involved in this, you know, they may lack that awareness. They may lack that insight, which is why I make these kind of videos, because I want to help you guys out. So what is the specific thing that I wanted to focus on today that a lot of people don't really seem to acknowledge too often? Well, guys, it's the simple fact that as every day, month, year passes by, time is slowly affecting not only the quality of these cards and sealed product, but it is affecting the price of these things as well. So I want to paint a little scenario for you, okay? So let's imagine it's the very beginning of the One Piece TCG, only a couple of years ago. And you happened to be a huge One Piece fan, and you really wanted to get into this TCG, and you had the foresight and the funds to buy a case of the blue bottom Romance Dawn boxes. Now, let's just say, for just the sake of it, you didn't even open these things. You kept the box because you just wanted to say, hey, I've been doing this before with sealed product. I'm just going to hold on to this and I'm just going to see what happens. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know now that you would have been heavily rewarded for doing such a thing. Now, I also want you to consider the people who bought 5, 10, 15, 20 cases, the game stores, the Rudies out there who had the money, and quite frankly, it's not something the average person has to be buying, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of this stuff. But if you had the foresight to buy stuff like this for the first boxes, you would be heavily, heavily rewarded. Now, the same can be kind of said for the later sets after the Romance Dawn set as well. Hell, you could have been doing pretty okay with the Romance Dawn white booster boxes as well. These, for a while, were much cheaper than the blue bottom boxes, and of course, we saw the prices steadily going up. Okay, so what is the point I'm trying to make here? We're in 2026 now. We're approaching OP16. The numbers are getting a little bigger when it comes to the sets that are coming out, and even though the TCG has only been around for a few years, guys, the older sets are going to become more and more valuable. Now, it's not even just going to be the older sets. We need to consider the cards in these sets as well. And that is kind of the main point I wanted to bring up, guys. Time itself is both on our side and working against us. Back when this big boom happened before December, I think it happened in like October-ish of last year, you know, I was buying cards left, right, and center. And, you know, I look back today and mourn the prices that I was buying the previous cards for. Because when I was complaining about a $400 manga card and saying, you know what, no, I'm not going to get it, it's too expensive. Now I'm looking back and being like, idiot, idiot, idiot. You know what I mean? I just couldn't see what was coming. I believed in it, but I didn't think it would happen so fast. And timing is just so important, guys. If you were on this like day one or the first year of this TCG coming out and you were aware that the IP for One Piece was going to be so massive, you could have been so heavily rewarded. People have gained so much money from their investments by just simply knowing what to buy and what to do with it. So many people buy this stuff, open the cards, and hey, you know, you might have pulled the Ichiro Oda signed card as well, and that could have been your ticket to a lot of money. And speaking of this card, I remember this card was going for around $2,000-$3,000 back in these days, and now it's like a $20,000 card if you get a PSA 10 of it. You know, it's just absolutely insane how much can change in just such a short amount of time. And this kind of foresight can really help you when you're considering your investments. I mean, let's really take a look at this for a second. You know, obviously the Gear 5 Monkey D. Luffy manga card, whether it's PRB 01 or OPO 5, it's going to continuously go up in price. OPO 5 was basically the second biggest release after the very first set that came out. And, you know, getting this set is becoming harder and harder to get. I mean, hell, the box itself is at like $1,200-$1,300 now. You know, the prices are a little all over the place, but I definitely see this averaging like $1,400-$1,400 Canadian. So over $1,000 USD for the most part, and it's not really going to get much better. As long as Bandai decides never to reprint these sets again, which I don't think they're going to do, because I think Bandai has really smartened up with One Piece. I know they've got a bit of a bad rep with other cards that they've created, but I really do think they've locked the fuck in with the One Piece TCG. And kind of going back to the timing stuff, I mean, I want you to just really consider all of the cards that, you know, are just going to become more and more difficult to get a hold of. I mean, let's look at the Wings of the Captain Zoro. Zoro, he's a fan favorite. He's not Luffy, but he's second in command, you know what I mean? And OPO 6 was a kind of a mid-set, but the manga was absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think Zoro is going to be going down anytime soon. We can see right here, he's gone up 174% in a year. And I mean, it's still going to steadily go up over time. As long as Bandai is super smart with this and creates almost like a historic catalog of the products they've created till the very end of this card game, it is going to just create this beautiful portfolio of art that can be invested in these cards that are going to mean something to a lot of people, especially the older they get. Take a look at this Luffy card here, for example. It is the super pre-release winner card. You know, not the craziest looking card. It does stand out, but, you know, I wouldn't say this is the best looking One Piece card that's ever been created. But, I mean, guys, when you know the significance of this card came out, this was back in September of 2022, right before the entire series was about to launch. And this card, of course, was given out as the champion winner card. Now, when you compare that to, like, SPs, Bubble Zoro, mangas, all that sort of stuff, you know, the card itself is like, eh. But when you know the significance about it, the fact that it was one of the first cards to come out, it changes the way you look at things, right? Hell, I remember when I was coming across, like, Treasure Cup cards, doing some research, and I came across these incredible-looking Kaido cards. You cannot find these cards anywhere because they are so significantly low print. And they had a first, second, and third place for these cards. Guys, these cards are worth like tens of thousands of dollars. And, you know, when you compare them to other Treasure Cup cards, you know, the price is just absolutely ridiculous because, again, timing matters. And that's basically what I'm really just trying to solidify here with this conversation with you guys. You know, like, I can't tell you how often I will, you know, lose track of what I'm doing here. I'll kind of like not hold on to my strategies, or I kind of just, I'm not focused on what I'm doing here. And, you know, when it comes to, like, being serious about investing in something, caring about something, especially when you're putting money into something, you just really need to consider the timing. Because if you were to do all of these things today, you're definitely losing out on a ton of money. If you bought OPO1 when it first came out and you threw a couple $1,000s in there, opposed to now, I mean, guys, it's like $100,000 or something for like one case of the blue bottom boxes, or it's like an absurd price now. Same with OPO 5. I'm trying to get an OPO 5 box, sealed box, for my little, you know, my thing going on, my collections there. And the truth is, guys, like, I do struggle with paying $1,400 for a sealed box, just one booster box of something. It is a bit of a struggle for me. And, you know, the truth is, like, that's the case for most of us now. We've kind of missed the hype train, but it doesn't have to be that way. Think about OP11, think about OPO9. OPO9 is definitely starting to go up in price more and more over time. OPO9, I would say, is probably going to be the next booster box that's going to really start going up in price over time, because this was a legendary set. We had Gold Roger in here, we had the Four Emperors. Crazy set with the mangas and stuff like that. I'm thankful that I got one of those in my acrylic boxes there as well. But time, I really do think, is not on our side, guys. Time is going to run out, and I do think eventually we are going to see a boom in some of these products again. And not even just these products. I mean, hell, Paramount Warbox, okay? I can see this starting to go up again in price. We've got OP16 coming out soon, which is basically another Paramount Warbox. That could potentially make this set go up in price, you know, because the market just decides that it's, oh, we've got, like, you know, renditions of other arcs being reprinted in a sense again, because, like, let's be honest, there's only so many arcs in One Piece, you know, in the story and stuff like that. And the same can also be said for, like, the first wave of products that ever came out for the One Piece TCG, like the deck boxes, the promos, and stuff like that. I mean, hell, even with the treasure boosters, I was seeing so many of these in Walmart for the longest time, and now, you know, holding 8 of these is worth over $1,000 US, which is just absolutely insane to me. You know, we talked about EBO2 not too long ago. This is a really unique set. It's got the gold leaders in it. Only set with gold leaders. There's just so much to consider here. And this right here as well. We saw in our last video the first anniversary English set, you know, of the Straw Hats is just an absurd price. Somebody sold PSA 10 of the entire collection for like $8,000. Okay, so it's just absolutely insane how important timing is when it comes to getting these products, holding on to these products, or just being the first to pull some good stuff. You really do got to think ahead with this sort of thing, and I know it's really hard to hold on to stuff, and you don't want to, you know, you get the itch, you know, like I've had some friends see my collection and they're just like, dude, I just want to open them right now, and it's like, you know what, like I had that same urge, but you need discipline. And discipline and timing are all kind of in the same realm. So just to kind of get to the point here and wrap this all up, guys, you know, timing is really important and strategizing is really important. It's easy to put things off till tomorrow, but, you know, the truth is, guys, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. All of a sudden, your cards can go up, down, sideways. We really don't know. And Bandai could decide they're going to reprint stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that's the case. And just another little thing I'm going to throw in here while we're talking about this stuff. I've really considered it, and I do think the Heroine set is probably going to do well long term. We did complain a little bit about this set, but the reprint stuff is just ridiculous. Like, apparently Bandai's not really reprinting these like we thought they would, especially with OP13, by the way. It's not, I don't think it's going to have a significant impact at all, and I do think EBO3 was unique enough for people to probably want to pump up down the road because it's going to be a desired product. But overall, guys, you know, take that with what you will. I really do think this is the kind of stuff we need to think about when we are buying our cards and buying our products. But I hope this video was useful, and if it was, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. A video should pop up on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.